I want to share with you a story. It took place in Israel a few years ago, and before coronavirus, this will be obvious from the story. A comfortable, financially comfortable couple made their trip to Israel, and the husband and the family stopped into a kollel that was somewhere in his neighborhood. He wanted the building, caught his attention. He wanted to go in, see what was happening. And he sees when he comes in, it's actually a lot of the Avrechim in the kollel are getting up to daven mincha, so he wants to daven mincha also. It was an earlier mincha. But his own personal minhag was to always wear a jacket when he davened, and he didn't have a jacket on, so he felt uncomfortable. He turned to one of the talmidim in the kollel, asking if there might be an extra jacket around. And the talmid said to him, you know, my zman kavua, my set time for davening mincha is at the later minyan, so you're more than welcome to use my jacket. So he gave him his jacket. The guy was very thankful for it. He already realized that the quality of the jacket was not the kind of suit jacket that he was used to with the generous finances. And on top of that, it was pretty worn. So, you know, he understood that that this guy, you know, he's living off a kollel stipend maybe, and he's of modest means. Puts the jacket on, says Ashrei. As he's saying Ashrei already, he's feeling a different feeling. He gets up when the kollel gets up to daven the silent Shemona Esrei, and he's sensitive in his silent Shemona Esrei that he has some type of feeling about him that he doesn't usually have with davening. And he's attributing it to the fact that he's wearing a jacket of a Talmid Chacham who's giving of himself and making sacrifices to study Torah, and that he feels elevated wearing this jacket. He finishes his Shemona Esrei a little bit earlier than most others, and so he's waiting. And as he's waiting, he realizes that there are some papers folded up inside the jacket that he's wearing. He takes them out, and they are Chidushei Torah. They are original thoughts, handwritten in a very neat handwriting. And this fellow starts reading them. He knows how to learn them a little bit, and he's very, very impressed by the Torah. And anyway, he finishes mincha. The fellow himself lent him the jacket is not around, but they prearranged which hook he would put the jacket on, and he puts the jacket back. Later in the day, the owner of the jacket comes, he puts his jacket on, and as he touches his pocket, he feels an envelope in his pocket that was not there before, takes out the envelope, he finds $1,000 in cash, American dollars, and the note. And the note says to him, thanks him for the jacket. He says he sees that he's a man devoted to Torah, obviously a Talmid Chacham from his behavior, and he could see from the jacket as well that he's probably in need of financial support. And he adds to it, he says, I also read the Chidushei Torah that you had in your pocket, and I'm very, very impressed. And he wishes him well, doesn't even sign his name. And now this kollel member, he's wondering whether he can keep the money because he didn't write those Chidushei Torah. Those Chidushei Torah were actually written by his chavrusa, by his study partner. So he's worried that he was given money that, at least in part, was based upon Torah thoughts that the borrower of his jacket attributed to him, but that's not the truth. So he went to Rav Silberstein and asked for him to paskin. And Rav Silberstein paskin that he's entitled to keep the money, because the man makes it clear in his letter that he appreciated having the jacket, that he learned from the jacket that its owner is financially tight. And only afterwards did he add about the Chidushei Torah. So it was clear that the money was intended for the owner of the jacket, regardless of whether or not he was the author of the Chidushei Torah. For a very nice gift to bring home to his family at the end of the day. 3 lessons from this story. An indirect lesson is that there are situations that call for appropriate dress. So I'm not going to define what appropriate is, but your davening, there are halachas about how one should be dressed to give kavod to Hashem, honor to Hashem. Certain days of the week have extra kavod, like Shabbos. So even if we're sitting in our home by ourselves, it's still Shabbos. We don't get dressed up just for other people in shul. We get dressed up because it's Shabbos. Of the 2 more obvious messages, there is the message of integrity. Can you imagine a struggling kollel member even considering giving $1,000 to the author of the Torah manuscript that he wrote and not keeping it for himself? Very, very admirable. And certainly those are traits of Jewish people. We believe in emes. If it belonged to him, it's one thing. If it really should have been given to the author of the Divrei Torah, he was willing to go with that as well. We should always be people of integrity. And the most obvious lesson, perhaps, although we can judge which is the most important lesson, but there's this message of doing a chesed. Here, this kollel member was in a position to give an item, in this case, a jacket, to somebody who didn't need money necessarily. He had plenty of money, but he didn't have a jacket. And he did him a chesed. And for that chesed, he was very handsomely rewarded. Not that we need to be thinking that we have to get rewards for our chesed, but it is a story of chesed. And at this time in our lives, we have some extra time on our hands. And we can we continue to explore our relationship with Hashem, how we can improve ourselves, and how we can reach out and help others. Now, we don't have as many obvious opportunities to help others since we're not interacting with others and we're keeping our social distances, but we still can do chesed for other people. There are people, they may be in the village, they may be elsewhere, they may be lonely. Whether they're single people, married people, they could still be lonely, sometimes even married. I'm not speaking about ourselves at all, but that could be as well. But if we know people that a phone call would make a difference in their lives, we have time to make more phone calls right now. Tzedakah is always something that we can do online through a check in the mail. There are people that need help, organizations that help. We can work on both our relation with Hashem and our ability to help other people, which is actually a message at the end of the parsha. After all we talked about konim and korbanot, we read about the person who uttered a curse in Hashem's name, and then we read about prohibitions against murder and killing animals or injuring other people's property. It seems like very out of place. And Shimshon Raphael Hirsch reminds us that being a Torah Jew means integrating the two. We can talk about Kedusha in the Beit HaMikdash, in the Mishkan, but we can't limit our religious observance just to those rituals. That we have to always make sure that we are the proper type of person of chesed interacting with others. And certainly it's an appropriate time to give a Karas HaTov. Today, yesterday, May 8th, is 75th anniversary, the end of World War II. We have a lot to be grateful for all those who fought, to protect our freedom, certainly people who wound up paying the ultimate sacrifice in this physical world, that we should have those blessings. And we live still today with people, whether it be in Israel, United States, so many other countries, that are both defending human rights in the proper way, defending against terrorist acts, medical people involved in saving people's lives, the police, firefighters. We have a lot of hakaras hatov to spread around to everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful week ahead. A Shavua Tov. I'm going to
Shavua
unmute
Tov.
us all.